Hello class, in this video we talk about home mortgage, the cost of owning a home if you get the home through a home mortgage. The formulas we use in this section is the same with the previous section about the car loan. Let's look at our note. Some concepts involved in taking a home mortgage. What is a mortgage? A mortgage is a long-term installment loan, perhaps up to 30 or 40 or even 50 years, for the purpose of buying a home, and for which the property is pledged as a security for payment. Technically, before you pay off the loan, you don't really own the home, the bank does. The down payment is the portion of the sale price of the home that the buyer initially pays to the seller. So down payment is the money that you need to save in order to buy a home through mortgage. If you want to buy, so you want to save at least 20% of the house price and use the money for the down payment. If your down payment is less than 20%, then you will be required to purchase the private mortgage insurance. Yeah, look at it here. To avoid the private mortgage insurance, PMI, for most loans, you need to at least prepare 20% of the home's purchase price. Have those money set aside for a down payment, right? So down payment is very important. The more you pay upfront, your interest could be lower as well. So the difference between home price, the house price, and your down payment is the money you are lacking for pay the house, right? For paying the house. So that's the money you need to borrow from the lender or bank, and that amount of money is called the amount of the mortgage. The amount of the mortgage is the difference between the sale price, and the down payment. For paying off your home loan, there are many different type of mortgages. The most basic two, one is a fixed rate mortgage, the other is ARMS, the famous ARMS. Fixed rate mortgage have the same monthly principal and interest payment during the entire time of the loan. So every month you pay the same amount of money. Every month you pay the same amount of money, and we call that as a fixed installment loan. So the problems we encounter in this section are all fixed installment loan. We don't really talk about ARMS a lot. ARMS stand for adjustable rate mortgage. It's very famous. It has advantages and disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is the beginning of the loan, your rate is pretty low, so you're happy. But in the later years, your rate will go up very high. Maybe you might not be able to afford the mortgage. So there's a chance. Yeah, ARMS is less predictable. That's one of the disadvantages of ARMS. So we only talk about the fixed installment loan. Every month you pay the same amount of money. Majority of people have choose that option. So besides down payment upfront, you sometimes have to pay point. And what is a point? A point is a one-time charge from the lender that equals 1% of the loan amount. Very important. 1 point is 1% of the amount of the mortgage, the money you need to borrow from the lender. It is not 1% of the home price. One more time, a point is a one-time charge that equals 1% of the loan amount. Then 2 points would be 2% of the loan amount. 3 points would be 3% of the loan amount. If you, sometimes they will give you the option to pay a point or 2 points or even 3 points. And if you do that, then they will lower the interest rate. There's a balance there, trade-off there. And a document called the Truth in Lending Disclosure Statement shows the buyer the APR, or the annual percentage rate for the mortgage. The APR takes into account the interest rate and the points, the real cost of borrowing the money for a home. Besides down payment and points upfront, you still have to pay the closing cost. One part of the closing cost is the escrow account. The lender will require you to pay an escrow account, and that account takes care of your real estate taxes and insurance. And as the note says, a monthly mortgage payment is used to repay the principal plus interest. In addition, lending institutions can require monthly deposits into an escrow account, an account used by the lender to pay real estate taxes and insurance. My home loan is fixed installment loan, and the home mortgage part actually, my monthly payment, the principal and the interest is only 600-ish. But I actually pay 800-ish because of the taxes and the insurance. And I had to pay the escrow account in the midtown of Tulsa. They take care of that. So those are the costs of buying a home through home mortgage. Down payment, you have to save for that money, at least 20%, right? Points, possible. Sometimes they give you the option to lower the interest rate. And the closing cost, also including the escrow fee, escrow account fee. So this formula is the same formula with the car loan section, the previous section. As you can see, PMT is the payment, monthly payment. So when you get a car loan or auto loan or home loan, what I heard, you just pay by month, okay? Pay by month. So n equals 12. But when you work on the assignments in MATH math, sometimes just for challenging you, they might say like semi-annually or quarterly. So pay attention. But in real world, we do pay back the home loan and the auto loan and home mortgage by month on a monthly basis. So PMT is the monthly payment. P, what is P? Do you remember? It's not a principal, okay? Is the is the amount of loan, is loan amount, is the money that you have to borrow from the lender. Same with the car loan. R is the annual interest rate, the nominal annual interest rate. T is time in year. How many years what's the longevity of your house mortgage? Are you gonna pay back the mortgage in 15 years or 30 years, right? Or 20 years or even longer? So T is the time in year, and N is 12 because you deposit the payment every month. Yeah, as I said, when you do the homework, be careful. You might see some problems with N is not equal to 12. So pay attention to the information. Well, let's solve problems. Example 1. The price of a home is $315,000. The bank requires a 10% down payment and 2 points at the time of closing. Those are the important information. The cost of the home is financed with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 4.5%. We have the following 5 parts to answer. Part A, find the required down payment. Yeah, let's see how do we do that. How do we get that done? Required down payment, 10%. It doesn't mention the PMI, right? Then you don't have to worry about that. Just use the information that you are given. Do not assume extra condition. Required down payment, 10%. 10% of what? 10% of the house price. 10% of the house price, $315,000. Okay? 10% of a whole number is easy, right? You just need to remove 1 0. Yeah, simply just remove 1 0. The calculation is very convenient. So 315,100. That's the required down payment. 31 grand, $500. So you need to work hard to save money for that. So that is part A, the required down payment. Part B, find the amount of the mortgage, the loan amount, the home loan amount. That's the difference between the house price and your down payment. So we are going to either use 315,000, that's the house price, minus your down payment, 31,500. We either use this subtraction to find your loan amount, or I'll show you the second method, right? Yeah, let's do the subtraction first. 315, oops, 1, 2, 3, minus 315,100 equals $283,500. 283,500. 283,500. 283,500. So that's the money you need to borrow in order to live in your dream house, right? And as I mentioned, we have another way to compute your loan amount for the home mortgage. Remember, the required down payment is 10%. So you have to pay the 10% of the house price upfront. Then does that mean you have 90%? 90% you need to borrow from the lender. So if we multiply 90% by the house price, 315,000, you will have the loan amount as well. Yeah, so it's a multiplication. Let's do that. 90%, 0.9, multiplied by 315,000. You see that? It's the same thing, right? Yeah. So either way can give you the home mortgage amount. Yeah, the loan amount, $283,500. So that's part B. 10% down payment. The rest 90% is the home mortgage, the loan amount you need to borrow from the lender. Part C. How much must be paid for the 2 points at the closing? Do you remember the concept of 2 points? The point. 1 point is 1% of what? 1% of what? 1% of the loan amount, not the home price. So 2%, 2 points would be 2% of the loan amount. We have the loan amount from part B, which is $283,500. Okay. 2% as decimal is 0.02. Multiply that by the loan amount, 283,500. So the 2 points up front you have to pay is $5,670. 5670. 5670. 5,000. Yeah, that's also a bigger cost for some of you. Yeah, that's not a little money. It's $5,000, almost $6,000. But the bank requires a 10% down payment and 2 points at the time of closing. It's not an option. It's not optional. It's required by the lender that you choose. So you would have to also save for that amount of money as well. Part D. Find the monthly payment, excluding escrowed taxes and insurance, round to the nearest dollar. And knowing the answer we derive using the formula does not include taxes and insurance. As I give you my example, taxes and insurance every month not cheap. So be aware of that. Okay, so for finding monthly payment, we have 3 different methods. Same with auto loan from the previous section. So the first method is to use this formula, right? I'm going to write the formula here. PMT equals, numerator is loan amount times monthly interest rate all over. Denominator is a difference, 1 minus 1 plus r over n. 1 minus 1 plus 1 r over n to the power of negative nt. Same with last section, we do not prove or derive the formula. And I do not even recommend you memorize this formula because we have a better method. That is the second method. Well, I'm going to only use the first method, the formula, one time for this specific question. And later when we have other questions, I'm going to just use the TBM solver. Let's plug in the values. Loan amount, $283,500. Annual interest rate, 4.5%, so 0.045. Over 12, we have the monthly interest rate. Denominator, 1 minus, in the parentheses, we have the compounding factor, 1 plus 0.045 over 12. And the exponent is negative. Negative 12 times how many years? 30-year loan, so 30. And then close the denominator. Okay? Yeah. Now I'm going to share my calculator, my TI-84 calculator. I'm going to enter the whole expression, pretty complicated, the whole expression into my TI-84 calculator. And right now, please take a picture of it. Yeah, please take a picture of it. Then when you look at my calculator, then you know what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm trying to enter the expression exactly same with this into the calculator, all right? Okay, let's go share. Share my calculator. Okay, turn on my calculator and clear everything. What's the mortgage? What's the loan amount? 283,500. 183,500 multiplied by monthly interest rate 0.045 divided by 12, close the monthly interest rate. So that's the numerator. And use the numerator to divide it by. I'm going to use this parentheses to represent the bracket in the expression. 1 minus another parenthesis. 1 plus another parenthesis. In this parenthesis, we have 0.045 divided by 12. That's the monthly interest rate. Close the monthly interest rate. Close the compounding factor. And then raise to the power of another parenthesis for negative 12 times 30. I don't even want to calculate. I just enter the expression. And then we close the bracket, right? Hope you have your TI-84 calculator ready at this time, and you can practice with me. And that's the amount we get. The monthly payment, without considering taxes and insurance, is $1,436.45 if we follow the normal rounding rule. Yeah, we should follow the normal rounding rule for monthly payment. Or we should always read the instruction here. Let me read the instruction. Round to the nearest dollar. Okay, my bad, sorry. Round to the nearest dollar, not cents. Okay, round to the nearest dollar. When you see the instruction says round to, then you just follow the normal rounding rule. If the instruction says round up, then you have to round it up. It doesn't matter the next digit, less than 5 or bigger than 5. Okay, so let me copy the result here. The monthly payment is around equal to 1,436. Yeah, round it down. $1,436. Because the house is pretty expensive and the interest rate is not low at all. Right? So that's the first method for funding the monthly payment for a home mortgage. In reality, that number is going to go up. Maybe at least $200 or $300, depends on the location, the taxes and the insurance. So the second method is to use the app. Let's do that. Go to apps, finance, TBM solver, big N. So how many times you have to deposit the payment? 12 times a year for 30 years. So 12 times 30. That's the first item. Annual interest rate 4.5. Present value. Yeah, we are talking about installment loan. Same with the auto loan. Installment loan, the present value is the loan amount. What is the loan amount? 283,500. 283,500. Yeah, be careful. If you missing 1 0, the answer will not get it right. Payment is we're trying to solve for, right? Monthly payment. And the future value. What do you want your future value to be? You want it to be 0. In 30 years, you don't want to owe nothing. You want to pay off the money and you completely own the house. So in 30 years, the future value of the loan must be 0. And P per Y and C per Y both are 12. Okay, because you pay by month. Now let's go back payment. Solve for the payment. Do you see the same number? $1,436, right? Rounded to the nearest dollar. Okay, so let's go back our notes. Waiting for the tunnel. Okay, awesome. That's part D. We found the monthly payment rounded to the nearest dollar. Part E, find the total interest paid over 30 years. Okay, so The difference between the money you have paid over the 30 years and the money you actually borrow, that is the cost. Actually, not all the cost, because you have a lot of cost up front. Yeah, that's the interest. That's the interest of the mortgage. Okay, so you pay around $1,436 every month for how many years? 30 years. Yeah, we have 12 months every year for 30 years, or you can just multiply 360. That's the total number of months in 30 years. And that's the money you owe, right? Sorry, that's the money you pay over the 30 years. That amount of money is bigger. It must be bigger than the money you actually borrow. The money you actually borrow is $283,500. So let's do the algebra here. Evaluate the expression. We do the multiplication first. 1, 4, 3, 6 multiplied by 360 equals, yeah, that's how much money you pay over the 30 years. Yeah, over the 30 years. Minus, it's like almost twice, double the money you owe. Yeah, minus the home loan amount, $283,500. Yeah, 233,460. 233,460. That's the interest. Okay, that's the interest. I would add the 2 point. 2 point is how much? The 2 point is $5,670. The upfront down payment, we do not count that as the cost of the home because it's a part of the price you have to pay. The cost of the loan, including this, the interest, right, over the 30 years, and including the points, $5,670, and including the closing cost, the escrow fee. Well, we answered part E. Yeah, that's the total interest paid over 30 years. Yeah, shy half of the, not shy half, it's like a very, it's like is very close to the money you owe. Almost double, right? Almost double. So this is this example. Yeah, we can also use Excel to find the monthly payment, and I'll leave that for you to practice. For the detail, watch my previous video. Next example. Now change the time of the mortgage for the last problem from 30 years to 15 years. That means everything else is the same, right? Then we are going to answer the following 3 parts. Part A, find the monthly payment, excluding taxes and insurance, round to the nearest dollar. Okay, so you know what? We don't have to do it all over again, because if we use the second method, let me share the calculator, and we have all the information in the app already. All we need to do is to change the 30 year to 15 year, right? Yeah, all we need to do is change the 30 year to 15 years. So let's go to the app. Yeah, it's already here. Yeah, all we need to do is to go up to change the 360 months to 12 times 15. 180 months, half of the time. Everything else stays the same. And then we are going to solve for payment. Okay? So once again, I show you the advantage of this method, the app. So now your monthly payment is $2,168. Rounded up, 2169. 2169. Let me write it down. Right? And then let's share back. Let's go back our note. Yeah, so part A, only by fixing some numbers in the app, we get a monthly payment for the same loan, but the time period, the longevity of the loan becomes 15 years, from 30 years to 15 years. And part B, find the total interest paid. This time, every month you pay $2,169, rounded up to the nearest dollar, because the ones is 7, and multiply that by 12 times 15, 180. And then subtract the loan amount, $283,500. So let's see what's the total interest in this case. Our impression for the 30-year loan is the interest is very high, right? Let's see if the time, the term of the loan cut in half, what happened to the total interest? So let's multiply 2,169 multiply by that by 180, and then minus 283,500. The difference is shy 11 gram. Shy 110 gram. So 106,920. 106,920. Yep. Compare that interest with the interest from the previous. That is 233 grand. And this is only, shy half of it. Yeah. A lot less, right? Yeah. How much interest is saved by reducing the mortgage from 30 to 15 years? And the interest is 233,460. 233,460 minus 106,920. And difference, let's do the calculation. $233,460 minus 106,920. The difference is $126,540. That's a lot of money. All right, so that actually is one big problem. The two questions, two examples is one big problem. And next part of this guided note is about how do you determine how much you can afford. Not just the mortgage, home mortgage, also other debt. So the guideline is right here. You want to remember this part. Here's the bottom line from most financial advisors. Spend no more than 28% of your gross monthly income for your mortgage payment, specifically for your home mortgage. Again, don't forget taxes and insurance. The number we got from applying the formula is just the principal and interest. And second, Spend no more than 36% of your gross monthly income for your total monthly debt. Your total monthly debt may include mortgage payment, car payment, credit card bills, student loans, and medical debt. So that is the guideline for you to follow when you consider planning your personal finance. And this table makes the job a lot easier. From the first column, find your gross annual income, and then you will get the approximate monthly mortgage payment, the maximum you can afford for the monthly mortgage payment and the total monthly debt obligation. Look at this example. Suppose that your gross annual income is 45 grand. Round all computations to the nearest dollar. Part A. What is the maximum amount you should spend each month on a mortgage payment? Let's look at this guideline. Spend no more than means at most, 28% of your gross monthly income for your mortgage payment. So we are going to follow that guideline to answer this part A, okay? Your gross annual income, 45,000 divided by 12. That is your what? That is your monthly gross income, right? Monthly gross income. And you can afford at most, what is the percentage? 28% of the monthly gross income on your mortgage payment. So that's the maximum that you can afford. All right, so let's do the calculation. Do you guys remember the correct order of operations? Pamela does, right? Please excuse my Dion Sally. When we have a grouping symbol, we want to take care of the expression in the parentheses first, grouping symbol. So 45 grand divided by 12 divided by 12. That is your monthly gross income. Not even the income you will actually receive, because remember, FICA federal insurance withhold, yeah, and multiply that by 28%. Multiply that by 28%, so 0.28. We have $1,050. 1050. That is your maximum amount you can afford to spend on the monthly mortgage payment. Part B. What is the maximum amount you should spend each month for total credit obligations? Go up, look at this sentence. Spend no more than, right here, spend no more than 36% of your gross monthly income for your total monthly debt. Okay, the total monthly debt includes mortgage payments, car payments, credit card bills, student loans, and medical debt. 36%, right? So we do the same thing with earlier, just change the percentage to 36%. Multiply by the monthly gross income. 45 grand divided by 12. 45,000 divided by 12. Multiply by 436. 1,350. 1350. 1350. That means you only have 300 to spend on other debts. 300 on other debts. That's probably not enough, to be honest. But that's what we have. I can double check by using another method. So 36% minus 28%, that is 8%. 8% multiplied by the monthly gross income. So let's see, what is that? So 45 grand divided by 12 and multiplied by 0.08. Yeah, it is correct. It's $300. You only have 300 for other types of debt based on the guideline. Part C, if your monthly mortgage payment is 80% of the maximum amount you can afford, what's the maximum amount you should spend each month for all other debt? If your monthly mortgage payment is 80% of your maximum amount you can afford on the home mortgage. We have that information from part A, right? So 1050. And let's see, what is that? 80% of $1,050. 0.08 multiplied by $1,050. Huh? Oh, my bad. 840 is not 0.08, 0.8. 0.8 multiplied by 1050. 840, yeah, 840. So we are main thing we learn quantitative reasonings to try to make sense of the numbers. There's meaning behind the numbers. Like later I made a mistake, I got $84. The obviously it doesn't make any sense, right? So $840. So you save that much money from the home mortgage, so you can spend that to pay for your other debt, right? So what's the maximum amount you should spend each month for your other debt? From part B, we know the maximum amount of total debt is $1,350. Since your mortgage saved some money, and you can add those money on top of the, oh, no. So what's the maximum amount you should spend each month for all other debts? For all other debts, then that would be 300 plus 840. Spend each month for all other debts. That means exclude the home mortgage, right? Yeah, so the total is 1,350. And the maximum for mortgage is $1,050. So you can only have $300 on all other debt. Now, since you save 840 from the home mortgage, so you can have 840 more dollars to spend for all other debt, and that is 1140, right? $1,140 for all other debt. Nearly everyone is faced at some stage in life with the dilemma: should I rent or should I buy a home? And this part, the last part of the guided note, is about renting versus buying. Renting versus buying. It varies by person, from person to person. Some people enjoy owning a home. Some other people, they feel like owning a home is a burden. So really depends on the person. Yeah, we here in the guided note have the pros and cons for both renting and buying a home, so you can read it. The last part of the guided note is the historical data for the mortgage rate. As you can see, in 1981, about 40 years ago, the average mortgage rate is 16.43%. That's very, very high, very, very expensive. And then it's going down very quickly. And 2002 is 6.54%. And 2020, during the pandemic, the average is only 3.11%. Let me double check what is the mortgage rate today. It really depends on your credit, everything, right? Okay, we can see here. For the 30-year, whoa, it's go up so much. It has gone up so much. 30-year fix is 7.5%. 15-year fix is 6.672%. So we really should have bought house during the pandemic, 2020. All right, guys. So that's everything about the cost of owning a home. The calculation part, I would say, not challenging because basically the same with the auto loan. Yeah. Now you can work on your homework. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'll see you in the next video.